I don't know if you know, but people on the internet are making fun of the fact that Henry Cavill's movies just don't sell. There is indeed something odd about his career. He's an actor that nearly everyone adores simply for being himself. Whether you see him building a computer, showing off his dogs, or wishing a happy superhero day, to a bunch of actors who never responded to him. But when it comes to watching his movies in the theater, why does it happen to him? In this video, we'll delve into the topic further, as it's much deeper and more interesting than it initially appears. Welcome to Go, your dose of geeky, mind-nourishing content. Today we will discover why Henry Cavill seems to have such bad luck in the movies. Henry Cavill may be the perfect actor for geek franchises. He enjoys video games, action films, comics, and all things nerdy. Zack Snyder called Henry Cavill to tell him he would be the new Superman, but Cavill missed the call because he was playing a video game, which is a humorous anecdote. I missed Zack Snyder's call about getting the Superman role while playing World of Warcraft. Did you hear the phone ring? I did, and you ignored it? Absolutely. This geek side of cable. We connect with the writer's affection for the characters as it shows his respect for them. I mean, people see Cavill and say, hell yeah, that's me. But if this is the case, why doesn't it translate into ticket sales? A first reason is that we have to take into account that internet fans and memes are not always a faithful representation of the general public. The Blue Beetle hype train, releasing in theaters on August 18th, gained significant momentum on social media. But in the end, did you end up watching the movie alone in the theater? Similarly, on social media we can find thousands of comments from women and men fantasizing about Cavill, especially men. I've seen more men. How is all that? So fantasizing about Henry Cavill? But something similar happens. It seems that there are many more people who want to savor and sexualize Cavill than people who genuinely want to see him. Acting in a project, as they say, you're fine, perfect, just existing, don't do anything, simply exist. When I need to, I just spend... We could also consider the type of roles he chooses, apart from his stint as Superman in the extended universe. For example, he has been in interesting franchises like Mission Impossible, where he played August Walker, a role that suited him very well. He also played Sherlock Holmes in Enola Holmes, but didn't have a leading role in these films. In Mission Impossible, it's impossible to steal the limelight from Tom Cruise, while in Enola, the focus was more on Millie Bobby Brown. Some argue that even in films like Batman vs Superman, Cavill was relegated to a secondary role, with much of the story focused on developing Batman's character. In Argylle, Cavill was at the center of the posters and promotion, but plays a secondary role in the movie. In addition to the film being a box office flop, something that often happens to Cavill when he is at the forefront of a project, whether in the movie or on the poster, or in the movie and on the poster. But seriously speaking, how does Henry Cavill fare at the box office? Man of Steel success, The Man from United Network, Command for Law and Enforcement failure, Batman 5 Superman success, The Night Hunter. The movie only made $1 million worldwide. You probably weren't even aware of its existence. Argylle failure, The Ministry of Ungentlemen and Warfare failure. Generally, a movie is considered successful if it earns triple its budget at the box office. If it doubles, it's just thought to have broken even because of marketing expenses. One of his biggest achievements was Superman. He also starred in the Netflix series The Witcher, which I didn't enjoy. But it seemed widely accepted by the general public, even those who aren't geeks or fans of the video game or books. Netflix continued to renew the series and gave it spin-offs, despite it being an expensive production. Something we all know that Netflix doesn't do if it's not convenient. That series where cable keeps saying that one. Maybe that's the trick, you put cable shirtless? Yes, like that, without any dialogue. Unfortunately, Henry Cavill made another poor career decision. For years, one of the most prevalent rumors about the Black Adam movie was that Superman would appear in it. Not only because The Rock and several people involved in the film suddenly hinted at this in interviews. The Rock's manager and ex-wife, Dani Garcia, was also managing Henry Cavill at the time. Henry Cavill's Superman ultimately appeared in a scene from Black Adam, and he recorded an emotional message announcing his return. My dad was so happy, which in turn made him give up his role in The Witcher. Only for in the end, this return not to be fully realized and remain only in this single and last cameo of Henry Cavill. My dad was so sad. As I discussed in my previous video, the rise and fall of Henry Cavill's Superman. He got caught up in a struggle that The Rock had to gain control of DC Comics. And that ended up hurting him and breaking my heart because I did want to see Man of Steel. In fact, Henry Cavill cut ties with his manager and started promoting his new Warhammer 40,000 franchise project. I hope it's pronounced like that. It's a level of geek that I'm not used to handling. And yes, the truth is that this project sounds interesting. However, it's also a very niche franchise, so there's a chance it might not attract a large audience. If The Witcher's success repeats, his manager might struggle to convince him to leave the role. But there's a very important detail here that many are not seeing. Henry Cavill is the main target of these memes and jokes, but he's not the only one. In fact, the case of Henry Cavill is simply an indicator that our movie consumption habits are changing. When I was a kid, people often watched movies solely because of a particular actor starring in it. Knowing the new movie starred Tom Cruise, Will Smith, and Julia Roberts was enough. I didn't need to know much else about it. My grandpa still watches movies just because of a certain actor. This had some advantages because the studios had the opportunity to tell new stories with the confidence that an actor or actress could sell the film. As with Armageddon, Jerry Maguire, or Liar Liar. Today, this has changed, as evident from the numerous sequels and prequels dominating the box office top 10. In 2024 and 2014, 8 out of 10 films were sequels or prequels compared to 4 out of 10 in 2004 and none in 1994. What is the reason for this? Currently, studios focus more on investing large amounts of money in big productions in order to maximize their profits. If they're investing so much money, do they prefer to do it in a franchise? Movies based on intellectual properties from the past that have already succeeded in cinema. But not everything is the studio's fault. It should also be mentioned that they are responding to a change in the audience. Going to the movies is expensive, so the audience is becoming more selective with the movies they decide to go see in a theater. Don't you classify movies like this? If it's for watching in the cinema and it's better, I'll wait for streaming. This practice intensified during the pandemic as many people began to prefer watching movies from the comfort of their home, even if they have to wait longer to watch them, which makes people and studios focus more on franchises and less on who stars in them. Something we can see through commercial failures like Bullet Train with Brad Pitt or this Christmas movie that comes out in November with The Rock and Chris Evans. Original projects that didn't work despite having large budgets and renowned actors in them. This trait is common among actors who have portrayed superheroes, including Chris Evans.
Anthony Mackie says there are no movie stars anymore, including himself.
Besides the Chris Evans case, with the Christmas movie released in November. We could discuss Chris Hemsworth's inability to boost franchises like Ghostbusters, Men in Black or Mad Max, or Tom Holland's lack of other major commercial hits. Beyond his Spider-Man movies and one of Uncharted. Brie Larson seemed to have a great career ahead of her after her Oscar for The Movie Room, but she hasn't been very relevant either. Even Robert Downey Jr., a popular Marvel Cinematic Universe actor, has struggled to achieve great success after leaving the universe. So much so that we will soon see him return to the franchise as the character of Doctor Doom. It's worth noting that he won an Oscar for his role in Oppenheimer. His advantage is that he's a great actor. We should question whether Henry Cavill can successfully pivot his career. All these factors play a role in the phenomenon of Henry Cavill's career. His bad streak is likely due to a combination of external and internal factors, not a single cause, including changes in movie consumption. Having a successful career after playing a beloved superhero, especially Superman, can be challenging. In fact, no actor has been able to step out of the shadow of the Man of Steel, at least in the movies. Christopher Reeve was a great actor. He tried and he could never have another role as relevant. The same happened with Brandon Routh on the big screen. In fact, if you compare Cavill's career with that of Christopher Reeve or with that of Brandon Routh, I think Cavill is doing a better job than the others. We'll have to wait and see if Cavill has better luck in his future projects, or it will continue to be said. Everything he touches deserves. Perhaps this is the real curse of Superman. If you enjoyed this video, check out the others I've suggested that you might like. If you're a dedicated geek, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single video. That's all for now. I'm Go, the Geek Monitor, always looking beyond the obvious.